Hi students, this is Ms. Johnson. Today we're going to work on operations with integers. Our SWABAT for today is we are going to add, subtract, multiply, and divide integers. And remember that integers are positive and negative numbers. One question you might have is, can't I just use my calculator? And the answer is no. We need to be able to know these rules in our heads because they will be used in everyday life, and on the MCA test you will not be able to use your calculator. Alright, let's get into the example. Number 1, what are the rules for adding integers? Well, there's a couple different things you want to look at. If you are adding two integers, two numbers, and if they have the same sign, then you're going to simply add the numbers, and the answer has the same sign as the numbers that you are adding. However, if the integers are different signs, meaning one is positive and one is negative, then you want to subtract the numbers, biggest minus smallest, and then the answer is going to be the same as the bigger number. Alright, let's do a little practice. Example 1, we have negative 11 plus negative 7. These two numbers, these two integers have the same sign. They are both negative. That means we're going to just add the numbers together. So 11 plus 7 is 18. And the answer is the same as both in the problem. So it's going to be negative 18. Go ahead and try the next two. Alright, problem B, negative 11 plus 7. These two integers have different signs. Therefore, we're going to subtract the numbers. So, 11 minus 7 is 4. And then the answer is going to have the same sign as the bigger number. Well, the bigger number is 11, so the sign is going to be negative. So our answer will be negative 4. Letter C. The problem is 11 plus negative 7. Once again, they have different signs, so go and subtract. 11 minus 7 is still 4. And the bigger number is 11, and this time the sign is positive. Even though that doesn't have it out there, we know that as mathematicians. So this time our answer is going to be positive 4. Those are the rules for adding integers. Let's move on to subtracting. The rules for subtracting integers are a little bit simpler. You are just going to add the inverse and use the same rules that we did on the previous page. And when you add the inverse, this means you're going to add the opposite sign, the opposite number. Alright, let's try an example. Letter A. We're going to do the problem 18 minus 23. Well, we don't want to work with the subtraction, so we're going to add the inverse. So we are going to, instead of subtracting 23, we are going to add negative 23. And so we're going to rewrite the problem as 18 plus a negative 23. So we're adding the inverse, adding the opposite sign. Then we use the rules for adding. Well, these two now have a positive and a negative, so they are different signs. We are going to subtract the numbers. 23 minus 18 is 5. The bigger number is 23, so it's going to be a negative 5. Go ahead and try the next three problems. Alright, letter B is negative 18 minus 23. You want to rewrite the problems. Let's go ahead and rewrite all three problems. Adding the inverse. If we rewrite the problems, they should look like this. Problem B is adding negative 23. Problem C is adding negative 45. Problem D is adding negative 45 as well. And following the rules for addition, letter B, they are the same sign, negative and negative, so we add them together. So 18 plus 23 is 41, and they're both negative, so the answer is negative 41. Letter C is going to be negative 22, because they are different signs, so you subtract them. The bigger number is 45, so it's a negative 22. And letter D is going to be negative 68. Add them together. They're both negative signs, so it's students, this is Miss Johnson back with part 2. We have now added and subtracted integers. Now we're on to working with multiplying and dividing. And the rules for multiplying and dividing integers are the same as multiplying and dividing. There's not separate rules if you're multiplying, and there's not separate rules if you're dividing. The rules are, when you're multiplying numbers that have the same sign, then the answer is always going to be positive. Same sign, positive. If the numbers that you are multiplying, if the integers are different signs, then the answer is negative. And of course you do the multiplication or dividing problem as stated. So let's try a few problems. Letter A is 4 times negative 5. Remember, those parentheses mean to multiply. So you treat the numbers as they are. 4 times 5 is 20. These two integers have different signs, and different signs means you're going to have a negative answer, so the answer is negative 20. Letter B has the problem negative 51 divided by negative 3. Go ahead and divide 51 by 3. You might have to work this one out on scratch paper. Remember, we're not using our calculators today. 51 divided by 3 is 17. And the answer is going to be positive because they have the same sign, negative and negative, and if the answer is the same, the answer is always positive. So a negative times a negative is a positive 17. You don't have to write the positive, I was just putting that there to make a point. Letter C, negative 11 times negative 11. 11 times 11 is 121, and a negative times a negative is positive, so it's positive 121. Letter D, 96 divided by negative 6. Again, you might have to work this one out on your paper. 96 divided by 6 is 16. And you've got a positive and a negative number. Those are different signs, so the answer is negative 16. So those are the rules for adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing integers. Let's get to our summary. To summarize, go ahead and fill in. I know the rules for working with what has been our topic today. I know when I add integers with the same sign, I blank, and the answer will be blank. But if they are different signs, I blank, what do you need to do? And the answer will be what? When subtracting integers, you always want to add the, what is that word called? Add the what? And finally, to multiply and divide integers, if the sign is the same, the answer is always what? If the signs are different, the answer is what? That is adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing integers. Stay tuned for more videos.